Donald J. Trump was inaugurated in office, officially being our president of the United States. So we're out here at Shoreline Village to interview men and women on their hopes for the next 4 years. Stay tuned for this week's episode. Roll clip.
What do I expect from President Donald J. Trump in the next 4 years? We already know a lot because we've had him as president before, right? We know that he's, generally speaking, pretty good for business. He's good for the economy. He's good for peace in the nation. Many people may look at him as a big bully. Well, whatever it is, bully or not, there was no wars under his last administration. I don't like wars, but I also believe that Americans and Washington, D.C. and the President of the United States should stand up for ourselves. You know, we need to have a leader that stands up for us and us as Americans. So I feel like we'll get that with him as a president. With him and any Republican president, you typically get less regulation and less taxes. I'm a believer in less regulation and I'm a believer in less taxes. When you tax me as a business owner less, the idea is that I reinvest that into my businesses or buy other businesses or grow, and I create more jobs. I create more jobs, those people pay taxes, and then there's more taxes off of more income. It's a concept that I believe in. And it's true, when I was doing good under the Trump administration, I invested a lot more money back into my businesses and I hired a lot of people. And so I expect lower regulation and lower taxes.
What is your name?
My name is Sani.
Sani, and my name is Ali. And with the coming 4 years, Trump's going to be the new president. What are your expectations? What do you hope for over these next 4 years?
Well, I hope that smarter heads, more logical heads will prevail.
Okay.
There's a lot of political hoopla going on. I hope that we can look beyond that. Policy matters. We haven't talked a lot about policy in the recent election campaign. He's known to talk a lot about economy, for example, world peace, ending the wars around the world. I hope that we see that in action beyond just the talks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, do you feel that he's knowledgeable when he talks about it, or do you think a lot of it is just talk to appease his voters and have people vote for him?
He's a politician. I don't expect him to be an expert on every topic. I hope that he has teams who are experts on things, right? So he claims to know people who know stuff. Elon Musk being an example on economy, or technology rather, not economy, right?
Yeah.
So if he has people like that around him, I'll be okay with that. I don't expect the president to be an expert in everything.
Okay. Over these past 4 years, has there been any personal impact to you that you think is going to be a lot better these next coming 4 years? Either in your business, life, price of groceries people always talk about, anything that impacts you that you're hoping to change?
Well, in the last 4 years, so I'm a businessman, and I've noticed, especially in the technology business, I've noticed a lot of slowdown over the years. We had large clients, large corporations who kind of started the conversations, but then they went quiet over a year ago, and now they have started to come back. So I think there is certainly a positive sentiment in the on the economy side. In the society. So that's a big one that's personally impacting us. Right after the election, when the results came out, we started receiving calls from customers who had been quiet for a year. We're talking about large-scale customers, So I think it has a lot to do with the psychology around finance, psychology around investment, right? And I think he has a positive impact on that. Also, if you remember from his last time when he was in office, as much as he talks about aggressive hoopla around his policies, but if you remember, there was fewer involvements in the world conflicts around the planet. Without going into detail, so I'm hoping that he would do more of that, because we are just involved in too many conflicts around the world, and I don't think it's serving us well.
Okay, so you think the involvement we've had in the last 4 years with the war in Ukraine, the war in Israel, you think we've been too involved? Pull away from that a little bit?
I think we do. I think we do need to pull away from that. If you look internally, from our infrastructure to education to healthcare, everything is down in the dumps. And I'm talking numbers. I'm not talking about political. I'm not a politician. I look at numbers. If you look at education, we are number 7 in the world. If you look at healthcare, and this is developed world, right? If you look at healthcare, we are like 7 or 8 again in the developed world. If we want to be world leaders, we got to fix our house first.
Right. That's what they're saying with the America First, is fix what's happening in here first. before worrying about other people. But
Precisely.
the world has always relied on the U.S. as that superpower, as that leader, and we've historically we've always been involved in conflicts outside the world. But it sounds like you feel like we need to try to bring that in now more.
So on this, yes, I agree with you. When you're the world leader, you have to be that, sort of try to bring order in the world. But if you look at our recent wars, not even recent, go back 40 years, 50 years,
Yeah.
there are very few wars that are justifiable.
Yeah.
Second World War, yes, we were attacked. But after that, Korea, Vietnam, Afghanistan, and then more recent wars in the Middle East, it's
Right.
like, what are we doing there?
Yeah.
Right.
Why are we sticking our nose in there?
Why do we do that?
Yeah.
I feel like we have lost the higher moral ground that we
Okay.
don't have. In the past, we could say, we are doing the right thing, therefore come support us, come join us.
Right.
I don't think we have that anymore.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So that's why I think we need to pull back a little, get our own act together,
Yeah.
and then lead the world.
Gotcha. That makes sense. And then you saying that you are in business, obviously. I know one of the big things he's talked about were these tariffs. Some economists say it's not going to work. It's actually going to bring the prices up. But he's using it as, punishment to some of these countries. What are your thoughts on those tariffs, being involved in business?
So I see it as a more of a political statement.
Okay.
Because it's just not practical.
Right.
So I'm I'm involved in international trade and international
okay.
business, right? And we already see. You hear about the global South concept. So
Yeah.
you understand, global South is not a region; it's more of a loose group of countries. From China, India, Brazil, several Arab countries,
Yeah,
African
BRICS.
countries.
You talking about BRICS?
Not BRICS. So global South is beyond BRICS.
Oh, really? Okay.
BRICS is a subset of global South.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So, but you're right. You're thinking in the right direction. So BRICS was like the initial version, and the current version of BRICS is Global South, which is much
Got
bigger
it.
than that. Same
Okay.
concept. They don't want to deal in dollar.
Right.
They're telling us, we'll give you gold,
Yeah.
to
They
barter.
want to create a new currency.
Use new currency, use one of the other currencies other than the US dollar, which obviously we don't accept as an American company.
Right.
But like we want to deal in US dollar, that
Right.
creates a conflict as an American business for us.
Yeah.
Because we want US dollar, they're like, nope, we don't want to do US dollar.
Gotcha.
Right? So things like that will create trouble in the short run for companies like ours. We are a mid-sized company, but there are larger companies as well that have a lot of impact on the economy. So that will happen in the short run. In the long run, I don't think that it is possible to just say we're going to shut down our borders, we're going to do everything internally, and we're going to be self-sufficient. We live in a world where everything is dependent. I mean, everything that you and I are wearing right now,
Dependent on each other. Dependent, yeah.
even clothes,
Yeah.
the equipment you're using, where do you think it was built?
Yeah.
Everything is built somewhere.
Right.
Not even in one place. Parts are collected from
Exactly.
many different places.
Yep.
So
Yep.
saying that we just gonna become internal. When I went through business school, globalization was a big thing.
Yeah.
Now it's the opposite swing. Anti-globalization,
Yeah.
nationalization, bring everything in-house. It's
Yeah.
not practical.
Yeah.
We worked on globalization for the last at least 30, 40 years.
Yep.
The world is developed around globalization where we're dependent on each other.
Right.
So I
Very
think,
true.
yeah. So I think this rhetoric of shut down the borders, do everything internally, high tariffs, or if anybody wants to do business with us, they have to come here, set up companies here. I don't think that's practical.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think
you
that
know.
goes along the same line where they've talked about the H-1 visa, about not using those or
Yeah.
using less of it and trying to give those jobs to the people in the U.S. Before you bring in those highly skilled people from India, China, or wherever.
My counter argument, yes, I understand that, and we also, my company sponsors H-1B visas for our employees from other parts of the world. When we can't find, the first question is, can we find comparable employees locally?
Right,
Right?
right.
Are they cost effective locally? If I can find, which is in many cases that is the case,
Yeah.
then we go abroad. Right now, our cybersecurity in Israel, our testing of software is in Turkey.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So very global, very national.
Global, very
Or
good.
international, I mean. Yeah.
International, right? So testing in Poland, development in the U.S., software development, things
Sure.
like that, right?
Wow.
Trade-wise, again, globally, different companies, different societies, they specialize in different skills. Somehow it just developed in that society.
Yeah.
We in the U.S., we are great at quality control, project management, product design. We are great at that. When it comes to low-cost building anything, we suck big time. Compare NASA and SpaceX, for example.
Yeah.
Right? True story, NASA spent $1 million to develop a pen that can be used in space.
Okay.
Some other countries, they said, why can't we use a lead pencil
Right.
in space?
Practical.
Right?
Practical,
right?
yeah.
So we just don't have the mindset of money
Got it.
saving. We
Got
have
it.
the mindset of getting things done.
Yeah.
That's what we excel at. So combine the best abilities of different societies
Okay.
and get things done. If you look at the U.S. from the Second World War forward, think of any major achievement from the invention of the atom bomb to any other development, you'll find immigrants.
Yeah,
at the forefront. Look
Yeah.
at any big company right now who is at the helm of the big company, from
Yeah.
Microsoft to SpaceX
Yep.
to anybody else. So again, saying that we're going to find skills locally, you need at least 30 years runway to develop skills locally to replace all that from
Right.
outside.
Right.
Also, I'm hiring employees much cheaper from offshore,
Sure.
and they're willing to come here, move here, get everything done, right? If I find a comparable person here, I have to increase my prices by at least 5x.
Right.
Are you
Yeah.
willing to pay 5x prices? You're
Yeah.
not, because
Yeah.
your salary is not going up at
Yeah.
that rate wherever you work, right?
Yeah, and I think that's the problem with some what some people are looking at is they're just focused on America first, keeping it all in house, but they don't understand the larger scale of how that could impact, a business or
Exactly.
what you have to, what you have to do to be successful.
Precisely. So that's why you have bureaucracy, and then you have government, then you have the politicians, political rhetoric. I do expect our presidents and people at that level to give us a vision for the next, what we're going to do for the next decade, for the next 50 years.
Right. It's got to
That-
be long term. Yeah.
It has to be long term. We are not thinking long term. Our mindset is very quarter to quarter, and that's
Right.
driven by the stock market.
Yeah.
So every business leader is thinking in that term. What's going to happen in this quarter?
Right.
We're not thinking 10 years, 50 years down the road.
Yeah, that's
That
very
has
true.
to come from the federal government, and then the bureaucracy has to put things in place. When the president says everything internal, bureaucracy has to say, well, that's not practical,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So that's how we have to find our way forward.
Yeah. Very true. Okay. Awesome. Well, thank you so much. I learned a lot.
pleasure.
I appreciate it.
So, with that being said, let's just see what Trump has in store. I'm very curious to see how these 4 years. See, I would be cool with a king or a dictator. I'm just speaking facts. These 4 years of election shit, it doesn't really help anything, right? Because what president, right, is gonna sit here for 4 years and just accomplish everything that he said he was gonna accomplish? It's not possible. It's not possible because every president has to go through certain steps to pass certain things, right? They have to go through certain steps, and you should know that as an American. You basic as an American that every president has to go through certain steps. You know what I'm saying? To pass a law or pass a bill or whatever.
What's your name?
Martin Fierros,
That's a good name. That's a good name. And what's yours?
Angel.
Angel. So now that Trump's being inaugurated, what do you hope for in the next 4 years? Best case scenario.
To tell you the truth, I think that, to me, I believe divide and conquer, Republican, Democrat, the same shit. That's how I think. I'm like, government to me is just not here to help us, you know what I'm saying? Me personally, I don't believe in none of that. I believe it's the same shit for two parties, but it's just the same people up top, you know what I mean? Screwing people over. That's just my personal belief.
Well, it's probably a wise outlook, because you got that pyramid going on.
Divide and conquer, you know what I mean? You got people believing in this, not knowing that it's the same people that are screwing you over, you know what I'm saying? So that's just me, my personal belief.
What do you hope for in the next 4 years here?
I'm not sure. No. To get on probation.
There you go. There you go. I don't know if it'll help with that, but
Yeah.
what about like the cost of food and gas? Inflation's crazy nowadays.
Oh, that is.
I'd
yeah.
like to see that lowered as
Yeah,
well.
of course. Yeah.
What do you think about our ties in China and Russia? There's all that hype going on with going
Yeah.
to war and stealing our information. Do you think Trump might help to separate us more so from that, or other than what Biden did, or what are your thoughts?
Yeah, right now we're speaking on that. I can go off on that. You know what I'm saying? I believe. You know what I mean? I think it's the money. They are chasing money. You know what I mean? The media, the news is gonna show you one thing. You know what I'm saying? But I believe these guys go and sit at a table, have coffee, and like, hey, how we gonna make money? Let's do this. The media will show you some like China. All these guys go and sit at the same table, you know what I mean, and have coffee, and it's like how we get money, let's make business, and this and that, and
You're
keep
right.
pushing.
They're doing all these deals behind closed doors, and we know nothing about it.
Yep.
They pass laws at 4 a.m. when we're asleep.
Exactly.
And I think it is to help build their businesses and more profit for them. It's all about corporate greed. I don't agree when you've got Putin and Trump together shaking hands and laughing about stuff when our economy is being destroyed.
Yeah. Or for instance, what is it? Israel, Ukraine. You know what I mean?
Yes.
You're sending money to Ukraine, billions of dollars, but people here affected. Where's the help for homelessness? Where's the help for the people for the fires? You're quick to send billions of dollars out. You know what I'm saying? But we're not getting no help.
I agree.
You send other people come out from other countries and everything. They get money. They get bailouts. You know, this and that's kind of sad that. As far as like working people, we work taxpayers' money, but there's no help for us. You know, the prices are up, gas, everything else. kind of sucks.
And it's always us middle class that get sandwiched between it, that pay the most taxes, and the rich get the tax breaks.
Yeah, exactly.
How do you feel about regulating taxation? Do you think big corporations should be taxed more to offset that, to feed
Of
the American
course.
people?
Yeah, of course.
I
Yeah,
agree.
they should. They should. It's like, I go donate some money to charities and get a tax write-off. You know what I'm saying? Businesses. It's crazy. I'm like what you call like a conspiracy theorist. You know what I'm saying? But is it really a conspiracy? So I go deep into that. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And through American history, they always release the truth like 50 years after the fact when it's too late. When it came to major world wars,
Yeah.
which were all built on making money. We went to Vietnam, it was all about money, things like that. They shot college students, the rifles with the daisy in it. They shot our own people.
Yeah.
Our police officers
Yeah,
did that.
Prescott Bush
Yep.
doing businesses with Russia, with everybody else, interest in it, but yet we're going to war and they're in the United States of America. That's kind of crazy.
And Bush created that whole free trade agreement, which caused all our factories to go overseas so they can pay cheaper labor, which took jobs away from us.
Exactly.
And well, thank
That's
you.
crazy.
I
No,
agree
thanks
with
you
you.
guys. Yeah.
You've been
100.
great. Thank you so much.
A convicted felon?
Oh, yes, he is.
No, he's not. Joe Biden should be in prison today.
Your man said day one, okay, I'm going to be a dictator for 24 hours. No. He said it.
Out of context. Go ahead.
How are these 4 years going to go?
I made sure that I have plenty of hair color in my bedroom, okay, so I don't turn totally white overnight.
He's going to drop the price of gas, close that border day one.
But he had all those years to close that border and didn't. Am I wrong?
I think you're wrong right across the board.
We don't have to argue about this anymore.
No.
What news sources do you think Dana should try?
Newsmax.
I can't.
You will.
I can tell you right now, I won't.
What is your name?
Will.
What about you?
Sarah.
And with the upcoming, President Trump being inaugurated tomorrow, what do you hope for in the next 4 years with him as president?
I mean, we're hoping for a better America, that's
Okay.
for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What does a better America look like to you?
Better economy,
Okay.
better social life, better jobs,
Okay.
opportunities,
Okay.
right?
Okay. How has the last 4 years personally affected you with regard to that?
It's been very bad, man. It's been very bad.
Yeah.
Like real estate. I work in construction, real estate
Okay.
type of business,
Okay.
and it affected us tremendously.
Okay.
I would say, house prices skyrocketed,
Okay.
interest rates skyrocketed.
Okay.
So that's all interconnected
Yeah.
with the economy,
Okay.
and hopefully we'll see better results with,
Okay.
with Trump and the administration. Yeah.
Is there anything first that you're hoping for that he does right away that's going to personally impact you? Is there something that you're hoping that he, takes on right away?
I mean, I hope he can start bringing in more money to the U.S. instead of spending money
Okay.
outside of the U.S.
Okay. And how so?
I mean, he proposed multiple options that he has in mind, and I hope he can start taking action about these.
Okay.
I think his idea was to start implementing some taxes or I would say incentives maybe on some other countries, especially the ones that we're importing products from.
Okay.
So I think that will help.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, he's been really active since you got elected over these last couple of months. Have you seen any impact to you with these changes that you're hoping for, or you haven't really seen it yet, and you think it's going
Not
to
yet.
take some
It's all-
time?
It's all like media, right? But nothing into effect yet.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Everybody basically standing still.
Yeah.
They're just watching. They're just waiting on
Okay.
the president to take action, basically.
Right. So for you, definitely the real estate prices of homes, construction. You saw a slowdown in construction in terms of new homes and new things.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's no more like buying and selling power. It's slowed down.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Oh, now, what are you fearful for? Is there any kind of fears that you think might happen with him being president?
I mean, the fear is not current fear. The fear is the future, which is basically by the end of his presidency.
What it's going to look like?
So what's gonna happen is he's gonna try to rush things, right, without having like a solid base, and especially he has Elon Musk on his side and some other like wealthy investors, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes if you rush into things, you don't have a solid base, it tends to crumble
Right.
or collapse.
It's like temporary.
Exactly. So I'm hoping that won't happen by the end of his presidency,
Okay.
right?
It is something that's going to have longevity, that's going to be a
Exactly.
positive impact.
Exactly. So whoever takes over the next presidency, hopefully they can maintain whatever he's trying to accomplish.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, awesome. Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right,
thank you so much. Thank you.
All right, to all the Trump supporters out there that are saying things like, just wait and see, your life's going to be better, he's going to do good. I'm going to be very, very clear when I say this. We don't care if he made bacon and eggs free. We don't care if he made gas $0.25 a gallon. We don't care if interest rates were 1%. He's a criminal, he's a misogynist, and he's a sexual assaulter. Notice I didn't say the R word because I know you guys get emotional about that. Apparently sexual assaulter is better to you guys, but whatever. There's nothing he can do to outweigh those things.
What's your name?
Cooper.
You have a great beard, Cooper.
Thank you.
I love it. What's yours?
Anna.
Anna. So tell me, now that Trump's being inaugurated, what do you hope to expect in the next 4 years?
Lower prices.
I agree. That's a good one. Let's get the cost of food down, right? How about you?
Wait, what was the question?
What do you hope to expect in the next 4 years now that Trump's becoming president?
Oh, yeah, the same. Low prices on groceries and things.
Right.
Yeah.
Gas, all the above.
Yeah.
Inflation is through the roof, and now they can't even find eggs on the shelf,
Yeah.
Why do you think that is, that there's an egg shortage? That's odd.
There was a avian flu that went around, I think, a little bit.
That's what it was, wasn't it? Smart man. I love that. Okay. How did you feel when Trump before was like, oh, the votes were rigged, it wasn't fair? Did you think that was all a farce? He was just gaining attention?
I think there's been a lot of issues with our voting system in the last few years. The last few election cycles.
Yeah, I feel like there's a distrust there. And
Yeah.
you got the Electoral College, they get a majority of votes. You got large corporations that get these votes. So, like, what matters or what counts when it comes to our vote? And that's a tough decision. How do you think Kamala would do compared to Trump? You think she'd be more gentle about her, communication on the platform, or what? Would she help us?
I don't know. I don't have very high opinions of her, but
I don't have high opinions of anyone in office, to be honest, especially lawyers. I just have a distrust for lawyers, too, and she's definitely prosecuted a lot of people. With that said, though, how do you feel about her ties with Russia, China, and all that? Would you like to see more of some type of middle ground where we don't have this conspiracy of going to war or whatever it is? Do you think Trump might help with more of a backbone to kind of distance ourselves from them?
yeah, I mean, I think regardless, we need to be in a position of strength, regardless of how our relationship is with any other country. We cannot be approaching it with timidness.
Agreed. Our nation's strong for a reason. We used to be like the greatest nation in the world. How do you feel about us outsourcing all this food and stuff, the exports with China? Should we rely less on them and more on our farmers?
We already have a bunch of debt to China.
Oh, trillions. That's true. Do you guys have TikTok at all?
I don't.
No.
Okay, did you hear about that TikTok ban thing too? I thought that was crazy too. I guess there was too much information being traded and whatnot. Now Trump said he's going to get it back on board, which they rebooted TikTok again. But how do you feel about these apps? Like, what is it that you got, like Wish or those other apps where they buy stuff? How do you feel about those Chinese companies?
Honestly, I don't think it's that big of a deal whether or not they ban it. So much of our data is being sold and traded regardless. So I don't think it's going to really make much of a difference in that regard. I think the whole TikTok ban is really just so that the government can profit off of it our government can profit off of it instead of China.
Right. I mean, our social security numbers on everything nowadays. So it's like, what's the point?
Right.
Well, thank you so much. It's been great. I appreciate it.
So the inauguration is going to be moved inside the rotunda, and there's going to be a viewing party at Capital One Arena for folks, but nobody's going to be outside now. What's your reaction to that?
So we're not going to get to see it in person then. Is that correct?
That's right.
Well, I don't like it. I mean, we came all the way from Washington, from Oklahoma, and now we're not going to get to see it. We might as well stay home and watch it on TV.
It sucks. Let me rephrase that. It's not good.
Yeah, it's actually something that we've been looking forward to for historical purposes and being a part of it. That's once in a lifetime.
Absolutely.
Made all the plans, all the arrangements to come up and be a part of this event. And all of a sudden to hear that it's being moved indoors, we're
prepared for the weather. It's not a problem.
It's kind of like a bummer.
It is, yeah. Cold ain't gonna hurt nobody. We have farms and we don't get to not feed the cows because it's cold.
I traveled all the way from Kuwait.
We drove 8 hours, about 500 miles.
Dayton, Ohio, a suburb of Dayton.
We're coming from the Bay Area.
We traveled from Kansas.
Traveled all the way from South Dakota.
We're from Manchester, England.
We came from Charleston, South Carolina.
East Texas.
I'm from South Korea.
We traveled about 660 miles from Missouri.
About 2,000 miles from Seattle.
From Florida.
We're here from London.
The bottom line is we are thrilled about the inauguration. Yeah. Regardless of where it is, it's happening.
Right.
Yes, thrilled. We are ready for Trump 2.0.
What's your name?
Ben.
What about you?
Dion.
Okay, and so it's regarding the inauguration. You know, Trump's going to be the new president. What do you expect or hope for the next 4 years with him as president?
That's a difficult question. I'm not expecting anything.
No?
I just hope he doesn't ruin a lot of stuff. Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, what's your biggest fear then, if saying that'll happen?
Oh, the biggest fear. He becomes buddy with Putin again.
Okay, yeah.
That's pretty much the one thing.
Yeah.
So.
What about like they're talking about? He's saying he can't necessarily lower the prices yet. Everybody voted for him to lower the prices of groceries, eggs, gas, but it doesn't look like it might happen right away. What are your thoughts on that as far as inflation and bringing the prices down? You think it'll happen? No.
He has ability. I don't think it's up to him for that.
It's based on like the economy and whatnot.
Yeah, it's
and
not
the
really
agriculture.
Not
It's not something he can decide.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a lot of things. Even with the egg prices right now, it's not up to him. Bird flu is really not up to him.
Right. That's what happened.
He can't control it.
Yeah.
There's really not much he can do.
Okay.
About that.
Okay.
So, especially if he does impose the tariffs, I think
it's going to make it worse, right? I mean, the economist has said that the tariffs are actually going to make it worse because he doesn't understand how tariffs actually work. We're going to end up paying for it. You know, the more he raises it, the more we're going to pay for it.
But he does like to play bluffs a little bit.
Yeah.
So
you think some of them are just bluffs?
Yeah.
Just to get the votes.
Yeah.
To get the votes, yeah.
Pretty much.
What about the relationship with China and Russia? He's saying I heard he said he had a good conversation with the president of China, you know, to bridge that gap. Do you think that's real? Do you think, or they're just conspiring to?
That's all conspiracy.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of workarounds already.
Right.
China already owns a lot of factory in Mexico, so.
Yeah. And this TikTok ban, they just lifted it because he's saying he's going to put an executive order. What are your thoughts on that ban, or it being lifted?
He's the one that put it on in the first place.
Right. They said in 2020 he mentioned it at first.
Yeah.
He's the one that wanted it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but now he's taking credit for lifting that ban.
Right.
So it's like a ploy.
Yeah.
The bluff. Right.
Yep.
Gotcha. Okay.
Put it on, then people forget about it, then he takes it off, and everyone's happy. Now they like him more.
Makes him look like the good guy.
Yeah.
So it's all part of the play.
Yep.
Yeah, I got you. Okay. All right. Awesome. Thank you guys.
A short time from now, we are going to be changing the name of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America, and we will restore the name of a great president, William McKinley, to Mount McKinley, where it should be and where it belongs. It started in 2015, and right from the beginning, we went to the top. Day one, they announced Trump, and Trump went to number one and stayed there for the whole primary. And then we took on Hillary. She didn't look too happy today. We took on Hillary, a very nice person, but we took on Hillary and we defeated Hillary.
What's your name?
Luna.
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 Like the moon.
Like the moon.
I love it. So you shine at night, right?
I shine at night, all the time.
And during the day. So, you know, Trump's now going to be inaugurated in office and stuff. What do you expect the next 4 years to turn out like? What do you hope for?
Man, I hope for the best for this country. You know, hopefully we have 4 good years and keep it going.
How do you feel about the cost of like food and gas nowadays with inflation?
Oh my God.
Yeah, not good.
And I'm afraid to go to Costco to go buy groceries.
Even at Costco.
Even at Costco, man, the prices went up big time. Hopefully they come down.
I know. I mean, you pay for a monthly membership, so you get a premium price.
Exactly.
And Costco has everything: clothes, eggs. I think there's like an egg shortage nowadays
Yes.
too, which is crazy. Why is that? What do you think?
I do not know. And the other day too, there was no water, but I think it was because of all the fires and that it's going on.
That's true. That's true. How would you feel if like Kamala Harris was in office? Do you think she may have a better job compared to him in his last 4 years?
I do not know, because this time on the elections, I did not vote. I was neutral. I didn't know which way to go. So I don't know.
I was the same thing when it was Hillary Clinton and Obama. I didn't know who to vote for, and then when Trump was running against, I didn't know who to vote for. So I haven't voted in like over 8 years myself because there's no one I really believed in.
Exactly.
And they all say one thing and then do another, and it's getting out of hand here.
There you go.
Yeah. How do you feel about the diplomatic ties over in China and stuff and Russia, now with Trump in office? Do you think maybe we'll have a little more backbone and protect ourselves as a country from those nations, or no?
Well, hopefully we will,
Yeah.
But then again, I don't know about Trump because after what he did when he went and broke in and did all the damage, you know what I mean?
For documents and stuff?
No, for the when he said he got cheated on his votes,
Right.
and when they went inside, what was it?
When they went to count the voting there at the Electoral College or something there, they were checking to see if it was actually true or not, if it was fake, and he thought that the election was rigged, right?
Right.
And that caused a lot of conspiracy, and people caused a lot of distrust with the American people, thinking, do our votes really matter as well? So I feel like his words can be damaging to us as a country, but same thing with any president.
Right.
How do you feel about how frank and candid he is? He doesn't talk like a normal politician. He kind of talks like a bigot showman. How do you feel about that?
I don't know about that either. Yeah. I don't know.
A lot of people thought it was refreshing. Some people think that it's immature, because he'll insult people on their weight, things like that, make fun of people when he's doing speeches.
Exactly.
Do you think that's unnecessary?
No, I don't think he's ready for that, but we will find out. And
I agree. So hope for the best.
Hope for the best.
I love it. God bless.
God bless. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Breaking news, Donald Trump says that the next 4 years are going to be the best 4 years that America has ever seen. He is going to usher us into an age of prosperity unlike the United States has ever experienced. What do you think? You think Donald Trump has the ability to change the course of America in ways that it's never been? I'm excited to find out. I hope it's true. Tell me what you think.
Two bald dudes. Sorry to bother you. Can I ask Fusey questions?
No.
Hey, can I ask Fusey questions?
I'm sorry, man.
Just on Trump. Fusey questions, just on Trump stuff. Easy. And TikTok. Is that okay?
No, I'm good. A few questions of 2x2.
A few questions. Can you answer a few questions for us?
No, I can't really right now at this time, brother,
No?
I am a servant of the Lord.
Quick questions on Trump, the inauguration and all that.
No, I'm sorry.
With Trump now coming into office, what are your expectations or hope for in the next 4 years?
I don't want to get into that conversation.
No? Couple of quick questions.
Sorry, boss.
Couple of quick questions for our YouTube channel, Two Bald Dudes TV. No?